Hey guys, good morning, what's up? I'm Yalek, and in today's Boom Beach video I'm going to show you 3 attacks. I'm on my smallest account, my bomber account, and I forgot to do this when I started going through the game again with my mid-level account, my Boom Raider account. I forgot to record the events as they went, like the first War Factory, the level 45 War Factory, the Hammerman events, and so on. So I figured I should probably get a record of this. This was Hammerman's HQ 35. I had tried it with my usual setup on this account, which is 2-4 heavy Zuka. I got wrecked. There just wasn't enough. You'll see the layout. There just wasn't enough bullet absorption out there. You see this is all set up over here to rip through heavies, and then back here the 3 rockets become a problem when you run out of heavies. So solution to that was to switch to a 3-3 setup, which I usually don't prefer because it doesn't deliver as much damage. But on the other hand, if it keeps you on the battlefield a little longer in certain circumstances, that can be helpful. So right now it's just erase those rockets against that 1 heavy and the health of this HQ. And the 1 heavy evaporates just as the smoke or the shock timer was about to expire, and so down that went. Little dicey, but it worked. So that's kind of incidental. That was how that happened. What I really wanted to show you was 2 more Boom Raider hits at the mid-level, 41, 42, and you'll see some similarities in them. I did this yesterday. This was pretty cool. I rewatched it again this morning. You know, every once in a while, especially on Dr. T, the replays glitch and it shows a different result from the result that you actually experienced. So for example, you'll be on stage 7 Dr. T and it goes down, but maybe just barely, and then you go to watch your replay and it shows you losing. I think this happened here. I didn't lose, but at the end of this attack, I distinctly remember flaring the Doom Cannon because it creates splash damage and causes a problem. And it doesn't show that in the replay, which is weird, but whatever. Anyway, you're going to see 2 attacks, and the beginning of the attacks is going to be very similar. We're going to drop here, let the heavies get out front. So pause for a second, maybe actually a second count, maybe a tiny bit more. So the heavies will get up the beach a little bit, and then drop the hero behind, and then drop all the rest of the Zukas way in the back. And we're going to go to the side and let people gather up and then start smoking over here. Now the idea on this base, the difference in these 2 attacks, the idea in this base is to get to the side, but in order to divide and conquer. That shock in the middle is being barred out. I'm trying to, I don't know why he's decided to put this rocket launcher way up top over here. It's in a pretty stupid spot. Not very helpful to him. I'm trying to avoid all of this. That rocket will still be attacking me. I'm going to have to attack and clear some of these things. But I'm going to divide and conquer by going to the side in this base. We gotta kill that before it runs. And going to the side in this base, the idea is to avoid having to confront a whole bunch of his defenses. So let's watch. Drop on the heavies. I'm actually gonna count before to see. So it was about 2.5 or 3 seconds, actually. Let them trail out there. And then actually get a little GB off the beach, and then once the Zukas catch up, flare and start smoking. I could possibly have gotten away with 1 smoke here, but I went the safer route. Some of the Zukas, just to be funny, decided they were going to take off to that side of the boom cannon, Always love when stuff like that happens. And away we go. We've got the heavies lined up in front, critters going out. Was in the blind spot of that rocket, so that went down easily. And now it is just a matter of how long my heavies can stay out there with the help of the critters, how much I can destroy, and whether I can get to the HQ in enough time. I'm down to one heavy here. There are critters all over the place, so that's still good. This is where I remember, once this shock wears off, I remember flaring to that Doom Cannon, but either way, because the Doom Cannon does cause some splash damage, which was going to be a problem for my Zookas, with just my Zookas and critters left on the field. So that was the get to the side and divide and conquer strategy. And then this attack from this morning, similar in a lot of ways. I'm going to, you'll see the same drop, hero behind, Zookas all at the back, with that little bit of a pause for separation. You're going to see, oops, that shouldn't be there. Erase that one. Undo, yeah, okay. So you're going to see me getting off to the side of the base over here. You're going to see smoking. I am specifically trying to avoid, I'm going to BART right in the middle. There's a shock launcher and a rocket launcher touching each other. I'm going to BART them down. And my biggest problem here is going to be this rocket launcher. So while I'm walking up this way, there's an extra smoke over here. I'm trying to avoid having my Zookas, who are going to be trailing, get shot in the back. But once I get past that, up at the top of this base, so this is get to the side, but this is strictly to flank, not to, I suppose it's divide and conquer in a sense, but it's more like I'm just trying to skirt this entire base, and in doing so, I'm going to be able to avoid, to clear everything here. In doing so, I'm going to be able to avoid attacking, other than the BARTing, all of this. All of that area of the base. I'm just going to go up and around this way, and then try to periodically, my troops are going to start attacking these buildings and dropping down, and I'm going to pull them back up, and then they'll start to drop down, and then I believe I pull back up to about here. Now, the reason I didn't bother going after that second rocket launcher is that I noticed there is a very, very small blind spot up near the HQ where it does not cover, and so I figured as long as I can get there, get these one-hitters down, or get these splash damage and so on down, and it really shouldn't be too much of a problem. So away we go. Drop, counting, pretty similar. Got to about 3, I guess, on that. Let the heavies do a little bit of mine clearance. I could have held them a little longer, and probably should have there, so that the Zookas didn't end up trailing so far behind. But that's kind of okay, because when the heavies pop out of smoke, ultimately up in here, I'm going to throw critters. The rocket will then not harass them at all. Wait, did I not? I guess I didn't. Didn't even bother with that. I thought I did. So, as my troops are approaching from this angle, the heavies are staying down. Oh, there it is. I didn't do it initially because I wasn't sure about GBE, but later on, when I got a little more confident about the GBE, I took out those 2 towers. So now it's really just trying to avoid having my Zookas end up in a situation where that rocket is going to blast them. Laser becomes a problem along the way, mainly not because I'm in range with my troops, but because of the critters, and so shocking the laser becomes paramount. And up at the top here, you see that we just have the boom cannon left, and once it's just the boom cannon, we reflare, or just the regular cannon, reflare to that blind spot, because that regular cannon is not going to be able to take out my troops in anywhere near enough time, because my Zookas are just going to overpower the HQ. So, There's kind of a pattern. Sorry if these attacks get boring for somebody, but there's kind of a pattern to these attacks when I am successful in beating players who are higher level than me. One of these is a 46, one is a 48. Usually it's because of some negligence in the base owner's design. What level am I, actually? Oh, 42. Usually there's some negligence in the base owner's design. The first guy wasn't necessarily so much negligent, just I took advantage of the layout and everything being so compact. I could shock a bunch of things at once. Didn't have to walk too far, so that saved me some GBE. The second guy, that base design needs to be reworked. But in either case, when I'm able to do these attacks, usually it's one of those two approaches. Either get to the side and cut the base in half, or get to the side and flank. Because that second maneuver was just straight flanking and trying to avoid a... Jeez, I don't even know how many of his defenses did I address. I had the shock rocket. How many did I have to address? That's an interesting question here. This is base. Ultimately ended up barting down those two, so that's 1, 2. And then these up top, I had to deal with this, 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 and I left that. So 5 of the defenses on this entire base. So that seems like kind of a problem. It's really not a problem of equipment either, because if this headquarters were more centrally located with that blaster, which has great range, that laser, which is always a problem for Zookas, I probably wouldn't even have taken a run at this. I'd have let this guy go. But, well, that's not how it was. And he was negligent, so I took advantage. I'm good at that, I guess. Anyway, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Hope you have a great day. I'm Yalek. I'm out.